Hello, viewer. Welcome to Feisty Chess. I've taken a couple months off of the channel and also just from online chess. So I'm playing a 10-5 game against Rohan KG 11. Sounds like Lord of the Rings. It may not be. I'm going to stick with my main stuff here, knight c6. So we've got a regular king's pawn open game. See where white takes it. Okay. I love to see bishop c4. I get to play my two knights, and I especially love to see knight to g5, but white plays d3. So my main system here is just bishop e7. I'm going to castle. In certain lines, I can get d5 in one push, but usually I'll be playing d6. White's taking a bit of a think here. Yeah, I've played a couple tournaments recently, and I've played a lot at my local club here in Dubuque, Iowa. But haven't played any online in quite a while, so I want to pick it back up. Got a little time over the holidays here. Okay, knight c3. So let's see. I can't get d5 in against this. Let's play d6 first before I castle. Let's see what white does. Just a little bit more flexible. I don't think black has anything to worry about when white goes for knight c3. But I think white's probably better. Okay, he wants to avoid the pin. I wasn't planning on bishop g4 anyway, but I was planning on castling, so I'll go ahead and do that. Enjoying a time advantage here. Not used to that. All right, so I like to go bishop e6. Okay. Some new additions to the household. They may be a little bit noisy, if you can hear the kitty cat here. So I'm willing to accept this double pawn because that's an extra central pawn, and I get rook on the f file that's open. Okay, white doesn't want to go for that. Can I throw d5 in now? Looks like a good way to free my position. d5, e takes, knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes. So I've got it ready. My rule of thumb is I want to play this when I can. Knight d4 looks like an alternative. But yeah, d5 just frees my position up. One possible worry is my e5 pawn after rook e1. But I think, yeah, I'll be able to play f6 at some point to support that, if nothing else. That can become kind of tricky, but I've played a lot of these kind of games, and I'm sure I've had this position several times. And yeah, okay, we're taking with the knight. So this was the point of bishop e6 if white doesn't take, is just supporting d5, that d5 push. And in the king pawn opening, in the double king pawn openings, if you can play d5 at some point and free your position as black, you're probably equal. Okay. Knight f4 is no good, although I always love that idea. I can play knight takes and double his pawns, or I could play f6 immediately. I can also go bishop f6. I'm just going to play bishop f6. That piece isn't doing much otherwise. And I like this bishop being defended, so I didn't really like playing f6 and kind of putting that knight in a partial pin. Queen d6 is another possibility, but I don't want to deal with knight b5. Maybe I'll get a6 in to claim that space. Prevent knight b5. Probably was a good move there to take the knight on c3 to double those pawns, but white gets a lot of pros for that little con. An open b file, another way to develop his bishop, and more central control with 2 c pawns. Okay. Maybe f6 was all right there. I mean, I think I'm equal here. I'm actually more developed than white, at least as developed. That bishop doesn't have many good places to go. Like bishop d2 would make some sense, so he could recapture on c3 with the bishop if he wants, but this bishop on b3 prevents him from playing b3 and bringing his bishop out. So yeah, it's a... I think I might just make some small improvements here. I'm looking at a move like a6, maybe queen d7, maybe rook e8, and just nursing this clock advantage. Wow, didn't remember my rapid rating being so high. Pleasant surprise after a long hiatus. Oh! Get down. Quite the leap. Cats are incredible creatures. Okay, what are the riders of Rohan going to do here? Knight e5. Sorry, e4, knight e4. Okay. Looks like a pretty good move. He wants to give me a kind of structure here where I recapture with this. Say he takes, I take back with the knight, then he can take here, and then I have 2 double pawns on an isolated, on an open file. Okay, what have I got? Knight f4 here? Knight f4 might be pretty good. Just pointing myself towards the king side. I got knight d4. Knight f4. Looks like more's going on. He can go bishop takes f4. Bishop takes f4. I recapture. He takes, and he's up a pawn. So forget knight f4. I could go back with bishop e7. It seems kind of weak sauce, though. Knight d4. Okay, there's less pressure on that knight on d5. I can always recapture with the queen, so that's fine. That's not a very good bishop. He might get the bishop pair here. But let's just jump in with my knight and grab some space. Desperate house cat here. Okay. Still a minute up on time. Okay, I'm going to recapture with the queen. This sets a... Oh, wait. Yeah, I do have to recapture here. Well, okay. No, I'm just losing... Can I recapture with the queen? He can only take with the knight. Knight takes. And then do I have anything? I don't think so. Maybe I just... I could recapture... Okay, it's either knight or pawn. I'm going to recapture with knight or pawn. He gets bishop... Oof, he gets bishop h6 in if I take with the pawn. So I'm thinking knight. Knight takes knight. Bishop takes, I capture with the pawn, and that's... Wait, I'm losing that pawn either way, aren't I? Oof, okay. All right. Well, pawn takes. He gets control of the dark squares over here. Can he use them? Probably. Probably. All right, let's sacrifice the pawn like this. A little bit of a trap if he plays, say, bishop g5. I got knight takes f3. And then I'll win the bishop next turn. But I'm sure he'll play knight takes e5. And then, do I want to grab that light squared bishop? We'll have opposite colored bishops, which is not so bad when you're a pawn down. His king side will be a little bit naked. That'll unlock his rook, though. My knight is really nice on this square. So, maybe knight f4 now? Does that make any sense? Is that threatening anything? Maybe some knight e2 stuff? Okay. Anyway, I can attack f2. Really? I like this. Yeah. I'm going to go with this. Looks like the most kind of complicated situation to put white in. My knight on d4 is not protected. And actually, if he takes bishop, I'm going to take with the pawn, and then my rook is joined in the game there, and I'm threatening knight takes here, and then queen takes f2. There's got to be some nasties there. He does have knight g4 in some of those lines once my bishop is removed here. This is scary when your opponent gets two knights in your territory. So it's just giving white a lot to think about, which is kind of a practical decision here. So time is relatively even, but my lead is growing. Just make sure if bishop takes here, let's go for e takes. I like that. Yeah, I do. Oh wait. Ooh, no, bishop takes there. That's subjecting me to a fork, isn't it? But no. Okay, this is this is an interesting line. Bishop takes. I'm kind of slow here because I'm out of practice. Now he's got knight d7. Problem is, I can answer with this check. After takes, I've got this check. And between that queen and that knight, that's got to be some dangerous business. Okay, well, now I just need to make a simple recapture. Oh, he has a nasty fork. But queen f6. Yeah, rook d5 now. Rook e4, then queen f6. And he can't quite take yet because his knight is still loose. So it's not as bad as it looks. Do I have anything better, though? Let's just play queen f6. Well, that risks that fork again. Let's play the queen here on the white square. I can always go knight takes if he takes with the bishop. I am down a pawn here, and that might just be the only thing going on in the position after enough exchanges. Okay. All right. This isn't the end of the world. Especially with my time advantage. There's nothing to sneeze at. I can go knight. Okay. I can go knight here. The rook has to back up. Yeah, let's do that. Now g4 makes things interesting, but then I have a couple checks to choose from. And he's got to watch out for these kind of sacrifices. My rooks aren't really in the game yet is the problem. So he wants to get his other rook to e1, it looks like. I'm actually threatening. If he goes, oh, that's not really a threat. As long as he keeps his rook on this file. I was looking at knight, queen takes pawn here, and then there's this fork. Oh, that's not even true. I can maybe kick this knight with f6. He goes to the second rank. Where's that knight going if I play f6? c4? He might play g4, but that's got to just get him in more trouble, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to play f6. I have to watch my light square diagonal on my king the rest of the game, but let's do this. Also supports this knight should my queen get kicked away. g4 I can just take on e5 actually because I have a fork here. Okay, he goes for that. I don't know if I can really make anything happen here. I'm looking at knight h3, but I'd just be a piece down for a pawn. And he can get his rook into the game quicker than I can. I'm going to play this. And I've got queen h3 ideas. Whew. Does queen h3 work right now? No. No, it definitely doesn't. Let's just come back here. White will probably trade off the rooks. I haven't set my pre-moves on. He'll probably trade off all the rooks. My queen e3 looks like a good idea, yeah. But okay. I'd like to keep the queens on. White's king is a little more safe too, unfortunately. Okay, that's got to be some kind of error, right? I would like to think so. I don't really think so, though. Let's try to lock that queen up, but she's plenty mobile. I'm down 2 pawns. I got good control of the light squares. Okay. White is lashing out. Yeah, my knight can actually improve this way. Do you want to grab another pawn? No, let's shut that down. My king can maybe hide a little better on g7. Ooh. My knight looks good on d4, I think. I've got his knight shut down pretty well. That's kind of nice. Okay, I thought that was coming. And what shall I do about it? My knight looks good here. I'd like to get my king to g7. He can go knight e3 here. Yeah, okay. A little bit of a trap here. Not much of one, though. Okay. We'll have to trade knights, I suppose. Well, hopefully my time edge counts for something here, and now I've lured his king out. Okay, let's keep knights on, keep it complicated. Yeah, I saw that coming, didn't I? I really need to keep those queens on, so I will accept an ugly structure by taking back with the pawn. Let's just make some quick threats. A4 is expected here. C4, probably. Queen C4. Let's just hang our queen, huh? Okay. Tough stuff. Good game to my opponent. Let's look at it. Welcome back to the world of chess. Ooh, 23. Look at that. He went up 7. I went down 23. It's been that long since I played. Okay. I think everything was good in the opening. This is all very standard stuff. Pretty sure d5 is the right idea here. We'll look at this with the computer in a second. Bishop f6. I mean, maybe not. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I'm not maybe not the best move. Knight e4 was a good move. Good move. But yeah, I'm just losing a pawn here unless I go for pawn takes. So maybe bishop e7 is the best chance here. Then he gets a free move with his knight. Maybe f6. So I gave up that pawn. Tried to get some activity going. Maybe I should have gone for that opposite colored bishop thing. Frankly, there was a lot I just didn't see. I probably should have taken pawn takes here. He can't take my knight. This opens up the rook. Yeah, maybe pawn takes is better here. Let's see, how did I drop that second pawn? Oh, right, I've got to play something ridiculous like, well, yeah. Got to just trade queens and go for the pawn down ending, I guess, which doesn't look very welcoming. And yeah. Maybe e6 is a better spot for the knight, because at this point, that was not the best idea I'd had. Yeah. Yeah, white played well. White played well. So let's go back, look with the computer. Let's turn that thing on. Book moves here. Equal. Yeah, it's just dead equal according to the computer. So that's a victory for black. Doesn't like this bishop e6 idea. Likes knight a5. Yeah, go for the bishop pair. Of course, the computer likes that. I like to get all my pieces out. Okay. Likes bishop takes b3 first. And no, d5. What does it think about d5? It's not that bad. Okay, white's got an advantage here. Knight takes c3 is better. Ooh, bishop f6. Computer does not like that at all. Basically gives up a pawn. Hard to see that. This is good to know. I mean, lots of my games go this way, so this would be a good game to keep in mind. Knight takes c3 first, and then bishop takes b3. So just trade a bunch of stuff. Then you can play bishop d6. That's better than bishop f6. Yeah. Yeah, I should have recalled that. I feel like these themes are kind of familiar when I used to play more frequently. Yeah, knight e4 is good. c3 it likes here, but yeah, knight takes f6 can't be bad. It does like queen takes f6. At least that completes my development at the cost of a pawn. Knight d4, and although I've got these minors in the center, they're not doing enough right now. Should have got my rooks going, I suppose. Yeah, I don't need to play knight f4. Allow him to develop his bishop with tempo. So I should have got my rooks going. Ooh, knight f4 is a big mistake, apparently. I was trying to just make vague threats, and that's not going to cut it at this level. rook e4, queen f5, and then bishop takes e6, knight takes e6. It does like knight takes e6. I feel like this would have given me a little more play, because now 3 of my pieces are playing and white has a few more things to worry about. Queen d2. Doesn't that give back a pawn? Not really. Problem is this knight's hanging. So maybe c5 makes sense here. And now I'm threatening queen h3, funny enough. Because of this fork. No, I'm not. I am not. This knight on d. Backwards knight moves, Ben. Backwards knight moves. Yeah, I mean, white didn't make any significant mistakes. Let's click on this here. Just see just how bad the computer said I did. Yeah, but it was looking pretty dire, and any of the endings were looking really bad for me since I was just a clean pawn down. And with a knight ending, I've heard it said that the rule of thumb is if you want to evaluate a knight ending, just remove the knights from the board. And you've got a king and pawn ending, and that usually is a death sentence if you're just a pawn down in a very normal position. So, all right, well played from my opponent, Rohan. I was overridden by the Rohirrim, the Riders of Rohan here. Thanks for watching, folks. I may be able to play another one of these to try to get the taste out of my mouth, but it might not go so well because it's what it's like when you're coming back into the brutal world of online chess after just a few months off even. So, all right. How do I end this thing again? Good night, everyone.